We're here for the next round of the Tournament of Power. We have Goku versus the Hulk. We're going to look at all their skills, abilities, feats, everything like that to determine who would win if they were to fight. But first, the results of the last match where you all got to vote. It was Vegeta versus One Punch Man, and Vegeta will be moving forward in the bracket against Darkseid, getting 65% of the vote. But with that out of the way, let's get into today's fight. So, Goku versus the Hulk, two extremely powerful and extremely different characters. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. So I just want to go ahead and jump right into it. I want to start analyzing Goku, and then we'll talk about the Hulk. So, Goku, I am taking Goku as he is in Dragon Ball Super at his most current form. I haven't read all of Dragon Ball Super, the manga, but I do have a pretty good grasp of his power level at this point. So let's kind of break down how powerful Goku is and what he's done. So as far as pure power level scaling, we do know that at the end of regular Dragon Ball Z, after he has defeated Buu, he's roughly galaxy level in power, if not slightly under that. We know that Buu could destroy a galaxy, but not all at once, and we know that Super Saiyan 3 Goku was around that power level. And then Beerus shows up and flicks Super Saiyan 3 Goku, knocks him out. Obviously, Beerus is way more powerful than that, at least at a bare minimum, universe level of power. And this level of Beerus was sort of an untrained, lazy version. And even then, he could tap his finger and split a planet in half. But so Goku and Beerus fight, and Goku gets an upgrade, he gets God Ki. And then after this, his base form, Goku's base form, is way more powerful than anything we've seen before. His base form is at least multi-galaxy, if not universal. And I say that because whenever he was fighting against Beerus, it was stated that their hits were so powerful that the entire universe was at stake. And that was almost 10 years ago at this point, and Goku has only gotten so much stronger. His Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form, his Super Saiyan Blue, is leagues ahead of his previous form, right? So we know that his Super Saiyan Blue form has to be at least multi-universal in terms of power, and at its most powerful is roughly on par with some of the less powerful gods of destruction, as we saw with Vegeta when he was fighting Top in his Super Saiyan Blue form. And then beyond that, Goku also had his Ultra Instinct form, which goes way beyond Super Saiyan Blue, bringing him to a multiversal, if not, multiversal plus level of power, above most of the gods of destruction, and putting him on par, if not above, some of the most powerful fighters in the entire multiverse. In this form, he's also fast enough to dodge attacks autonomously, as his body just automatically dodges. And it comes with some other features that we've seen, like being able to essentially create an energy avatar of himself to help him fight, and some other techniques not necessarily tied to Ultra Instinct, like the Hakai ability, which is essentially wiping someone from existence. On top of this, whenever it comes to actual combat, Goku is a martial arts master. His combat speed is extremely high. For example, in his Super Saiyan Blue form, he was able to counter hit, and Hit's special ability was being able to skip through time. So he was able to react to somebody skipping through time. So he has essentially a perfect reaction speed and high enough durability to take hits from people in a similar league of power as him, which again is at bare minimum universe plus levels of power. On top of this, he has a number of energy blasts and attacks, from just regular blasts that he can do to his famous Kamehameha, covering him at both close and long range, and he can teleport. It's going to be really hard to pin this guy down, and even harder to beat. But real quick, I do want to mention that I am crowdfunding my third graphic novel, Cardinal Starstruck, on Indiegogo. It's got great story, great art, it's action-packed. Please do follow the link in the description to check out the Indiegogo page. Look through all the information about the campaign and the book itself, and if it interests you, please do consider backing. I put a lot into this book. I think it's really great, and I think that you will really enjoy it as well. So again, please follow that link, and I appreciate any support. Thank you. On the other side, we have the Hulk, the strongest there is in the Marvel Universe, and we actually have a few different tiers of feats that we want to look at. Specifically, I want to look at just regular Hulk as he's appeared throughout the years. I want to look at World War Hulk, and then the Immortal Hulk and beyond. So just normal Hulk as he's appeared over the years is quite impressive on his own. He's fought the likes of Hyperion and Thor, shrugged off Silver Surfer and Namor, He's lifted a 150 billion ton mountain. He's been strong enough to stop a celestial from stepping on planet Earth. He's been fast enough to tag speedsters like Quicksilver, and has done outrageous things like punching through a dimension. His healing factor is also good enough to where he's been reduced to just his muscle, his entire skin's burned off, and he quickly heals back to full health. He's been gouged by the Wolverine and healed perfectly fine. He's had lasers shot through him and he's perfectly fine. And it's been stated that if Hulk were to cut loose, no one on Earth could stop him. And even people like Thanos have claimed that they do not like fighting the Hulk just because of how powerful he is. And he is powerful enough to do some insane things, like he's claimed he can juggle planets, and we've seen him smash a meteorite 2 times the size of Earth in a single punch. During the World War Hulk storyline, we saw him get even more powerful. He essentially was able to overpower most of Earth's heroes, including Doctor Strange, Hercules, and others, eventually tying in strength with the likes of the Sentry, who's said to have the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. We also saw him during the storyline take a Whisper from Black Bolt, which was stated to should have been able to KO a typical Hulk, but in his World War Hulk form, it did not stop him. At the end of this series, we saw him go into his World Breaker form, where just getting to that power level was like a nuclear bomb going off, and him taking one single step nearly sunk the entire eastern coast of the United States. Beyond this, in his probably most current form, we have Immortal Hulk, who is probably the most powerful form we've seen Hulk ever take, in a consistent manner. Now, in this form, like I said before, in his World War Hulk form, he was pretty much perfectly on par with a full-powered Sentry. In this form, with a single punch, he's making Sentry use both his hands to try and catch it. He is more powerful than Sentry in this form, and we see that too because typically Hulk's roughly on par with Thor. In this form, he literally one-shots Thor. He's casually shaking off people like Hercules and Lady Thor, who again, during World War Hulk, Hercules did give him a pretty good challenge. Now he's like barely an afterthought. He also crushes the likes of Red Hulk and the Thing, and a champion of the universe, an extremely powerful being. Hulk beats the crap out of him as well. On top of this, we see some of Hulk's greatest regeneration feats, again having a laser beam shot through his chest and he heals back. We see him get cut into pieces and held in jars, and yet all of his pieces are still alive and do come back together. We also see him overload a Hulkbuster, demolishing it. He overloads T'Challa's vibranium suit, which should be impossible theoretically. And he's had some very strange feats, like being able to dispel the One Below All. And a little bit of lore there. So in Marvel, there's a being known as the One Above All, who is like the de facto most powerful, omnipotent being in the Marvel Universe, the creator of all, essentially God, capital G. And there is a counter to him known as the One Below All, an equally powerful being that is essentially the canonical devil of the Marvel Universe. And the Immortal Hulk, with a clap, is able to dispel his presence. And I don't really know how that scales in terms of power, because that's like, should be impossible to do. I don't know how that works into his power level, but I did think it was worth mentioning. This version of Hulk is also fast enough to keep up with the likes of Thor and Sentry and Wonder Man and people like that, and was fast enough to dodge Vision's laser beams, which is theoretically dodging light speed, right? So as far as power scaling goes for this version of the Hulk, again, typical Hulk, I would put at least bare minimum galaxy level, with feats that do go higher than that, like shattering dimensions and things. World War Hulk is above that to a degree, and then, of course, we've got Immortal Hulk even above that. And so again, Immortal Hulk is well above the likes of Thor, above the likes of Silver Surfer, and even above people like Sentry, again, the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. And above some very powerful people like Champions of the Universe, Elders of the Universe, which I think puts him at bare minimum Universe Plus levels of power. Now, technically, there is a version of quote-unquote Hulk that is above this, the One Below All Hulk, who's really not Hulk at all. He's called the Breaker Apart and presents as the Hulk, but it's really the One Below All. And this version we see like just walking through moons and destroying planets and stuff like that. So you may be inclined to believe this is the most powerful version of the character, but this is not actually the Hulk, just presenting as him, so I will not include him in this debate or these feats in this debate. But those are our two champions here. So if they were to go toe-to-toe, they meet on the battlefield, who would win? Well, if we're comparing stats, strength-wise, I think that Hulk obviously wins. He is the strongest one there is. Durability-wise, I think that Hulk probably wins. Not only do I think that he is directly more durable, but he also has a very impressive healing factor that's going to keep him in the fight for a long time. Pretty much any damage that Goku can do, Hulk will be able to heal from, and again, get matter, and in turn, get stronger. All the rest of it, though, I think that Goku has the advantage. I think Goku is definitely faster in multiple different ways. I think like in a foot race, he's faster, but his combat speed is much greater than the Hulk's. We have never seen Hulk fight the way that Goku fights, with extreme speed, skill, and precision as a martial artist, and so he definitely has the advantage there. Any sort of energy projection or anything like that, obviously Goku has the advantage there. When it comes to actual intelligence, Hulk is smarter, but combat intelligence, I'd say it is probably Goku, because again, being able to do things like figure out a new form in the middle of battle, being able to react to and figure out your opponent's gimmick of being able to skip through time and figure out how to beat that on the fly. We haven't seen Hulk do things like that. But that doesn't mean that he is out of the fight. Like I said, Hulk is in this fight for the long haul, and the longer the fight goes on, the greater the chance Hulk has of winning. And so let's look at the win conditions for each character. For Goku, the win condition is to essentially do what he always does. Use his superior speed, skill, and power to overpower the Hulk, to dodge his attacks, and to keep distance using his teleportation, using his ranged attacks as energy attacks, eventually wearing the Hulk out and defeating him. For Hulk, his win condition is to stay in the fight long enough to absorb Goku's attacks, heal from them, get matter, get stronger, and eventually catch Goku off guard, up close, and absolutely pummel the guy. It's definitely going to take fewer hits from the Hulk to knock out Goku than hits from Goku to knock out the Hulk. But the problem is going to be landing the hits. Because again, Goku, by his nature, is much faster than the Hulk, and much more skilled than the Hulk. If Goku can casually deflect and block hits from somebody like, Golden Frieza, who on his own is way faster than the Hulk, I don't think he will have much of a problem dodging the Hulk's attack. And people will say, what about Broly? Broly was a big brawler as well. He was not that skilled of a fighter, and he was able to beat the crap out of Goku. And while that's partially true, if you watch the movie or anything, Broly is clearly very skilled. He is dodging point-blank attacks from people like Vegeta. He is fighting back. He obviously has combat experience. Even if, in the lore up until this point, he doesn't, what he is displaying is martial arts and combat ability. Though his success as a grappler, just grabbing onto Goku and beating the crap out of him, does apply to Hulk as well. If Hulk can grab hold of him, he will definitely be able to do some damage. But if Goku is in his Ultra Instinct form, the fight's gone on that long he's in Ultra Instinct, I think as soon as he goes Ultra Instinct, I don't really see Hulk landing a hit. If Ultra Instinct Goku is dodging blasts and attacks from somebody like Jiren, I don't see how he's going to get tagged by someone like the Hulk, who is significantly slower. Not that Hulk is slow necessarily, but he's definitely slower. And when that happens, speaking of the Broly fight, I think it's going to look like what happened whenever Goku and Vegeta went to Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta versus Broly, where the overwhelming speed and power just completely rocked the dude, and he didn't land a single hit after that. Now, I do want to be clear, I think that the Hulk can hang, probably longer than most other fictional characters could hang with Goku. He can definitely tank anything that Goku's dishing out, and can heal from it, and just his durability in general is so high, I don't see that being a huge problem. The problem is, could Hulk retaliate and actually win? Could he actually deal enough damage to Goku to win the fight? And that's where I think that the main problem comes, because I don't think that he could. I think that the Hulk is too slow or Goku is too fast, that the Hulk really doesn't have a reasonable way of winning the fight. Just based on the way that Goku always fights and the way that the Hulk always fights. I think Goku just has such a huge advantage there, plus all his versatility, plus his power output, that I think that Goku does win. But it is not up to me. You all get to go vote on the communities page on my YouTube channel. Vote for who you want to win and move forward in the bracket. Let me know who you think would win in the comments as well, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.